Hello ladies and gentlemen. Introduction. We're shooting with the GoPro Hero 4 Black HD 1080p at 24 frames per second with the field of view at wide. Everything's going to be changing up as I go along, but that's going to be the setting at this given time. Now, I have a low level situation here and you have a light on and you can definitely see me. You see a lot of videos out there that show an excellent shot, and this is the actual camera. How do you like it? Is it doing a great job? Is it great for low level shots? Well, I'll leave that up for you to decide. Now, I am going to switch to 30 frames, 48 frames, 60 frames, 90 frames, 120 frames. But if I do that, what's going to happen? The video is going to be a lot worse. So, what's the best thing to do? Go right up to 120 frames per second, and that's this scene shot. Now, when I switch to 120 frames per second, in the Wi-Fi app, auto light on should have been enabled and come on. In 24 frames per second, auto light gets disabled, and that's what 24 frames does. It brings the auto light on automatically. So you can't have two things working together. If two things work together, they are hand in hand and they do a great job. Hey, anyway, what can I say? Can you see the difference in 24 frames per second and 120 frames per second? I'm not sure, but that's what you would use in the lowest level light, a lower frame per second. Now, some say that you should switch to 2K.7, and that would get the best, lowest resolution, the best lowest level light situation, and that would make everything work out just fine. Well, I think that'd be up to you to decide what works best for you in the situation you have. So on that note, we're going to switch right back to HD 1080p at 24 frames per second and just go out there and get some shots. So in the meantime, you may see some night lapse shots come in, and that's going to beef up the situation. Have a great day, and thank you for watching this video. Here are some shots. Hope you enjoy them. Here we have just a whole bunch of green lights, a nice straight drive heading towards downtown. And we're in traffic. You can see a white Cessna van that picks up people for $1 or $2, and they give counterfeit bills to everybody. And you see how he wants it pulled to the side and people want to pass everyone. This is the Barclays Center. Barclays Center really looked ugly until they finally finished it. It had a rusty look to it. Now the lights are up. You can get here, park your car, take the train that gets you directly into it. Visit the Barclays Center for all those. There's a sign that says BAM, and you can see the LEDs there in high definition. And this is an excellent test for the GoPro to see how well it picks up that information. To our left is a well-lit place known as Junior's. Junior's Cheesecakes. Oh man, you have to try it. One of the best places to come if you're ever there. Visit Junior's. This is Chinatown. Chinatown's a lovely place to visit if you want to get cultural foods. Yeah, it's going to be real happening during Christmas time. Everything's decorated. Hope you can come down and visit sometime. The sun is coming up. The sky is getting brighter, but you really cannot see the sun at this given time, but blue will show with the GoPro. So when do you switch from 24 frames per second to 30 frames per second and capture video? Well, you know you got a NTSC and a PAL, they would give you 25 frames per second rather than 24 frames per second. Now that may be something I want to switch to. So I am on 25 frames per second, and the question can now be, does auto light come on? Light doesn't come on in PAL up to 48 frames per second. So 25 frames per second can be equivalent to 30 frames per second. And 30 frames per second is like 25 frames per second. You don't have auto light. So auto light will come on after 30 frames per second at 48 frames per second. And this is when you would start to use it, when it's at dusk, when it's starting to get bright, and you'll get a better shot. Now, how true can that be? Well, I guess I would say if your sun starts to come up at 6:30, then I would probably start to use it at 6:30 to 9 o'clock and then change to a higher frame rate. But hey, anything is possible. So I hope you enjoy some of these videos as the daylight gets brighter. In the distance, you'll see a building nicely lit, and the sky is first getting its color. What color can I say it's like? It's like a grayish blue. In the camera, it definitely shows brightness. And I am at 30 frames per second, which I should actually switch back to 24 frames per second. I'm going to do that in a few seconds. So I basically switched back to 24 frames per second, and this is my outro. I've got a lot of shots. The sun is coming this way, and it's not really super bright. It's still a low level shot. I don't have my light on. If I turn my light on, you'll get a much better shot indeed, right? So I hope you enjoyed this nice long video. It shows you how the GoPro Hero 4 Black works. Hey, it's a 4K camera. Why am I shooting HD 1080p? Because of the low level, the auto low level, the night lapse, and all the excellent features this camera has to offer. I don't need to have a silver because I got my own screen. Heck, if I wanted to get a larger screen and do things, let me bring this closer to you. Look at that. I have a mini. I don't need something super small that I cannot see. So on that note, I do thank you very much for viewing. Have a great day, and thank you. Don't forget to show some love.